So this is week 8. Please by now double check your grades. Make sure you submit all your homework. Go on Blackboard and make sure you got the right grade for your homework and that the grade in your paper for the exam for the quizzes matches the one in the Blackboard. If I made a mistake, please bring it to me early. Midterm grades are due on Wednesday. So if you have any correction, something I'm missing, please let me know by then. Yeah.
Do we have to submit the labs then
Yeah.
on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll get no grade for them. Questions? Yeah.
For this class, there is no midterm exam, right?
Huh?
There is no midterm exam for this class?
There is no what? Midterm?
Yeah, for this
Exam.
class, yeah.
No, the midterm grade is based on the 3 quizzes you took. So we talked about light. We spent a lot of time talking about lighting. Where do we start for lighting? Do you remember? Did we talk about light temperature?
Color.
Color?
Gloss off the color.
Okay. So let's go back. Talk about incandescent lights.
Okay, so,
Let's go back. Color. Talk about this. Does it look familiar?
Talked about color temperature, I don't remember that page.
yeah,
Right here.
Okay. We talked about light economics, and we said there is purchasing cost, operating cost, and lifespan. So those 3 things all goes into the economics of a light bulb, and the decision you make and how much you should spend on light bulbs, and whether it's worth it or not. The reason I'm mentioning that is there is no reason putting like $20 light bulb in a closet that you only use for like 10 minutes a week. And some light bulbs, you gotta check the warranty and the life expectancy. Some of them do not last for a long time, even if you don't use them. So double check with that. They don't all have to can be stored for a long time. Sometimes you store them and they just go bad. So make sure it's the right application, right cost, and how much you're gonna use out of that. And we talked about all 4 types of lights. We talked about lumens and illumination. And we said that lumens are the output of the lights, and all lights are rated by lumens. If you work with projectors, or if you work in a stage, you probably know about lumens, and you want more lumens because this is how much light is coming out of the light. The illumination is the distribution of the surface of the light on a horizontal surface, and that's important for people who work on building design, because there are some requirements for the amount of illumination on the surface, especially if you're going to work on a bench. If you're in a shop, you want a certain amount of illumination. And that is measured by something called foot candle. It's a lumen of light distributed over square foot. These are too much details about lights, but it's good to know about that. And the reason why is, do we need this much light? Is this too much or is this too little? This is how we decide. So they used to say that the minimum illumination of 100-foot candle is the lowest for a visual task. That was proven to be too much light. You don't need to have this much light. And again, we say too much light is also exhausting. And we talk about the example of driving at night with all the lights in your face, or staring at the TV for a long time. It's always very exhausting. So the Illuminating Engineering Society said it's 20 to 50 is enough for a workplace, regular workplace, and it depends on the task. So if you're in a workplace where you're actually writing stuff, or carving, or doing some kind of electronics, you need more than that, or sewing. So for long tasks such as sewing, it's 200 to 500 of foot candles. So you'll be able to see in details. And probably you know that the pupil of your eyes expand and contract based on the amount of light. So too much expansion and contraction will exhaust your eye pupils and will cause your body to be tired. Lighting color is very important because it has different effect on what you see and also the comfort. So it's blue to green, and cool colors are preferred for visual text because they have better contrast on printed pages. And this is what we have, is kind of bluish color and cool color. Gives you better contrast when it reflects on papers. So if you see a lot of prints, usually it's black or dark color on white paper, and this will be better for reading. So if you go to libraries, probably you see a lot of cool colors. Warm lights are preferred for living spaces and showrooms because they are more flattering to the colors and they bring out the colors. So probably if you go to a museum or a showroom, you'll see a lot of warm lights and spotlights. There is a color rendering page in the book, 184 for the 5th edition and 188 for the 6th edition. The book provides a lot of information about colors, and because the book is concerned about residential energy and how much light should we put in a house. So again, two things we want to be concerned with when it comes to light is the cost of operation and also the heat. If you're gonna lose a lot of light that produce a lot of heat, you will have to compensate for that by adding BTUs to your AC, which again will consume energy. Temperature is measured in kelvins, and now probably you see those on all or most light bulbs you buy. So they're measured in degree kelvins. 10,000 is overcast sky, too much light, it's very bright, as bright as it gets. Natural daylight, it's around 4,000 candles, and it's kind of yellowish. 5,000, getting more brighter and more cool light, more bluish. And warm lights is what you see a lot for incandescent lights and reading lights. And also, so high pressure sodium will give you standard incandescent light. Will give you 3,000 kelvins, and probably those are the ones you see in street lights. The very, very low ones are the sunrise and sunset, and have colorful candle flame, and these are 2,000 Kelvin. So based on this selection, you want to pick up the light based on the Kelvin. So the temperature is different than the lumens, and it's different than the watts. So what are lumens?
The amount of light being given off.
Yeah, the brightness, how bright it is. So can you have 10,000 lumens on 200 Kelvin? Yes. So the color has to do with the blend of the light and how do we produce that light. And if you notice that different lights produce different temperature. So standard incandescent has tungsten in it, inside the filament, how the filament burn. You also know that gases burn in different colors, and these are the basis for neon lights, right? That's how you make neon lights, different gases in it. You ionize the gas. So some different incandescent lights will give you sunrise and sunset with the candle flame, and you can get 4,000 by CE fills, since around 4,000, and can get higher and higher. You can get incandescent lights now with different temperature. You can get CE fill now with different temperatures. So when you go to Home Depot, you'll see all the colors, and probably put it in a board to show you what is the color you're going to get and what is it used for. So LEDs in the beginning when they came out, they were too bright. They were mostly like in this 5,000 range, but now they come in different colors and different shades. Light quality, visual comfort. We talked about glaring TV. We talked about watching TV in dark room and how that strain your eyes and make you feel tired. Also, we want to have uniform brightness. Same idea. Darken light and reflection of light will also exhaust the eye. The absence of glare is very important. People do not like glare because it distorts from an actual light and it can be blinding. So dark glare, reflective glare, or revealing reflections. We always try to avoid intense sunlight. Why? UV.
Destroy your eyes.
It's bad for your eyes. Heat. It's also destroy colors. If you have some upholstery furniture and you have some dark sunlight on it, you'll notice that the color is faded. It fades your color, and the UV will destroy a lot of your furniture and your carpet. So you don't want any dark, intense sunlight. Some plants, also indoor plants, they want filter light. Let's say put inside the filter sunlight. We talked about pupil frequent shifting, and that's the other issue you have between when you look at your phone in a dark place. Have you noticed that? It's really hard to switch back and forth, and that's also the basis of no texting and driving. And notice they say no texting because you're gonna look at the text and it's very small, and your eye will not have time to adjust to the distance on the road. So the shifting becomes more and more difficult, especially when you look at your very small phone on your phone. So you have to adjust for that. It's not the same when you are reading on paper. So the frequent pupil shifting is very exhausting and it's very intense on the eyes. This is the label you'll see now that's mandated by the government on every light bulb, and we have to learn how to read the label. So they give you the brightness in lumens, around 870 lumens, and estimated annual cost based on 3 hours a day, and assuming that the kilowatts is 11 cents, which is not the case here in Mass. So you have to recalculate to get the accuracy here. Live based on 3 years. 3 hours a day, 5.5 years. Again, that's not really. This is gonna be only with this case, not your special case. Light appearance, it's very warm, 2,700. So it'll be good for a bedroom, office, dining room, but you don't want that in your kitchen when you're trying to cook, or in your shop. I should tell you if there's any unsafe material inside the light bulb. Most CFLs have mercury in them, and sometimes some gas is not supposed to be inhaled, and you don't want it to be broken. I posted the link for this label, so you can go and look for updates if you need to. So, what are incandescents? What are those? Those are the regular light bulbs, like this one we have over here. This is a incandescent light bulb. It's vacuum. It has a filament inside, and the filament and the amount of amperage that goes through it will cause it to glow, and that glow will give you the light, in addition to some heat as well. Fluorescent, it has gas in it. This is known as fluorescent, and somebody in the 90s, or maybe the late 80s, came up with the idea we can use the same bells, the small tube, and twist it around to get some illumination, and became CFL. We have the low pressure sodium, those are used for stadiums and street lights. And we have finally the LEDs, which are not very mentioned in the old edition because they were not very common at that time. The incandescent lights, so they are cheap, they're like 30 cents a piece, easy to replace. Very common, you find them everywhere. The problem is they're inefficient in terms of the amount of consumption based on the light. So a 60 watt replacement in LED is how many watts? If you want to replace 60 watt light bulb with the same Kelvins and the same illumination with the LEDs, how many watts?
60.
Huh?
60.
No, but the equivalent of 60 light bulb. So if I have a light bulb that's incandescent, watt. So with the same thing, and I mean by the same thing, same lumens with Kelvin and LED. Around 5 or 6. So that's 10 times less. Okay, so, and the cost now, it's getting closer. It's not going to be as close as the incandescent, but it's still very cheap. The last I checked, you can get it for $1.50 or $1 for LEDs, which is very impressive. Again, look at the longevity. The $1 LED, how much will it last? That's something you have to always think about. Because I've seen one for $10 and one for $1. There must be something. what is the warranty on it, and how long will it last. Short lifespan, they do not last as long. It usually goes out if you turn it on, if you leave it on, probably within like a few months if it's on all the time. It depends on the filament and the manufacturing. They're still very common for spotlights. We did not have a lot of replacement when it comes to spotlights, but they're still very common. They're still being produced. Fluorescent lights, current running through mercury gas. So that's not something you want around your house, especially if it breaks or in a place where you might break them. So you don't see incandescent lights in stadiums or game rooms or any place where there is a possibility where it might break, and there's a lot of people there might breathe it. They're tubular, comes in tubes, and the compact ones, those 4 times more efficient than incandescent lights. So they used to give you, so this is 60 watts, 5 watts, and we have that'll be on, I think, 15. So 1/4. They come in different temperature. In the beginning, people just did not like how the cool color in a house, and that's one of the things that stifled their growth. So somebody had to come with a different gas that can be ionized and produce different temperature. They last longer. The life expectancy was around 2 years. Cons, expensive initial cost. They're still more expensive than incandescent lights. The mercury contents. And something called AMI, which, did we talk about the AMI? Yeah. And we said the frequency is very not good for your health. Yeah, that's how they look. Either spiral or tubular. High intensity discharge, those are the sodium. They have the highest efficacy when it comes to other lights. They're very good, but they cannot be dimmed. They took too long to come up. They're very expensive, but they give you a lot of brightness. You cannot get the same intensity and same lumens with fluorescent or LEDs yet. So you still depend on those for stadiums or street lights. Suitable for outdoors. They can take the weather, and they are slow acting. Somebody's still trying to find a way to use LEDs for the streets, but we cannot find as much lumens out of LEDs. They're still limited. Even for projectors, I don't think they still have LED for projections. It was successful with TV, huh?
You can get a lot of them in LEDs.
Not as much as street light.
Well, not as much, but you can still get a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many lumens?
I couldn't give you an exact number.
Yeah, I'll look it up. They've been improving a lot of LEDs. It's taking a lot of like.
You need like a
I don't know if
$2,000
it's-
LED to do this.
Does anybody hunt
Sometimes.
for flashlights? Do they have LED flashlights for hunting?
Yes.
If they do that, then probably they have it for street lights. It could,
They're
it's
changing them
possible.
over,
Yeah.
but they're saying the thing with the blue light.
Yeah.
It's affecting people with the melanin.
Yeah.
That's what it affects, so it ends up disrupting the sleep cycle.
All right. I'll finish the rest on Wednesday. We'll stop this and we'll do the quiz.